One region of our solar system that's currently being heavily investigated for the possibility of life is one of Jupiter's moons, Europa. Europa is only roughly 25% the size of Earth. It's made primarily of silicate with an iron ore. The atmosphere is made of oxygen, which is different than Earth. Earth's atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, with only about 20% oxygen. The surface of Europa is covered in ice. But remember that because ice is a less dense material than water, liquid water could still reside underneath that icy coating. And there is some evidence that that might actually be the case. That would mean that life would exist deep in the water, trapped underneath the ice layer in Europa. In fact, life on Earth first evolved deep in the oceans. And so it wouldn't be unusual to hypothesize that perhaps life could exist underneath this icy shell. The only investigations into Europa have been done by flybys, but at some point in the future, there may be some investigations into the possibility of liquid underneath that ice layer and taking samples to see if there's any possibility for life there. Another area of our solar system that's investigated for life is Saturn's moons. In fact, 2 of Saturn's moons are potential possibilities for life. The first is Titan. Titan is about half the size of Earth, so bigger than Europa on Jupiter. It has liquid water on the surface as well. And it's a rocky structure, much like Earth. It also has liquid hydrocarbon lakes, organic molecules that are essentially like fats or oils, making the source of organic molecules on Titan quite prevalent. In addition, Titan's atmosphere is mostly nitrogen, just like Earth's, with methane and ethane available, 2 other organic molecules. Titan has seasonal weather patterns, which are useful for the evolution of life. And it's very similar to Earth in many ways, other than the fact that it is much cooler because it is farther from the sun. Another one of Saturn's moons is Enceladus. Enceladus is only 5% of Earth's size, so much, much smaller. There's liquid water found at the South Pole, and it has internal heat escaping from the planet, indicating that there is a heat source for this particular structure, useful when it's further away from the sun. It also indicates the planet is geologically active with active volcanic eruptions. Again, a useful feature for the formation of life because it provides an additional source of energy, namely heat energy, to the possibility of living systems. Now, most of the living systems that scientists are investigating are living systems that would be microbe or single cell in nature. This would be structures like this. A rock was found on Earth, and it had been ejected from Mars, sent through space, and landed on Earth. Digging into the rock, scientists discovered interesting structures, including the one that you see here. As you can tell, this is microscopic, but it does pose the possibility that there was perhaps on Mars microscopic microbial life. It's even possible that perhaps this is how life landed on Earth, was from an asteroid that came from another source in our solar system or elsewhere. Now, as interesting as this is, most people, when they think about aliens, don't think about little microbes. When people think about aliens, they usually think about intelligent life. While it's almost guaranteed that we would expect to find life elsewhere in our galaxy or even in our universe, it is not necessarily expected that humans would find intelligent life. However, there are some individuals exploring this very possibility. A group particularly interested in the possibility of finding intelligent life elsewhere is SETI. SETI stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence. And they're essentially looking for life elsewhere that has the capacity to be able to communicate with us through space. In particular, they're looking for electromagnetic radiation hitting Earth in a very specific pattern. Electromagnetic radiation is constantly bombarding Earth, but it's always random and a result of the activity of stars and elements in our solar system, galaxy, and universe. If there's a pattern to the electromagnetic radiation, this could indicate life elsewhere that's sending that information. While the US government originally contributed money to this effort, SETI is now supported entirely by private resources, as taxpayers considered this endeavor to be a waste of money. In the decades that SETI has been searching for extraterrestrial intelligence, there's not much that they've discovered. There was, in 1977, the most famous WOW signal, which lasted over a minute, but has not detected anything since. It was over 30 times stronger than most signals from deep space and seemed to have a repetitive pattern. But since nothing was detected in the 40 years hence, it's considered perhaps just an accident of space or interference from a source on Earth. But we can always hope and imagine and dream. Well, that's it for this lecture. I hope you enjoyed it and got your imagination flowing with the possibility of life, not just here on Earth, but elsewhere, somewhere in space.